to me that people have this experience of imposter syndrome, because to me it's almost more shame than it is being an imposter. Like there's something internal that's limiting them from being able to step into that experience, because it's all we're talking about is energy, how to get into this new energy or this new frame of mind. So what is this thing that's in between you and this new energy? Because it's not imposterism.
Imposterism. Yeah. Made up word? Maybe
No,
not.
it's
Is it
fine.
real?
It's fine.
Sounds made up, but so is imposter syndrome. Well, if there's no such thing as imposter syndrome, which is what we were talking about, then is there such thing as people pleasing? Because if that's in fact what we're doing, is people pleasing not just then people judging? Like I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'll say that. Whatever the fuck that means. I have made a lot of choices in my life based on an idea of how I think the other person is going to respond. And in most cases, I made that choice for me, not necessarily even for them, but it was in order to soften or make their experience better.
Based on an assumption of how they would also perceive your truth,
Right.
whatever thing you're holding back from them. It is a preconceived idea of how they're going to react, what they're going to say, and that's the judgment part of the people judging.
Right.
Is
So what is even people pleasing? What even is that? Are we going to just call that out today too? It feels made up. All of a sudden it feels very made up. Just another label for us to get trapped under?
just an illusion, like it all is. It's an illusion, especially that illusion of who that person is and also who we are, because all we're seeing is ourselves. They are the mirror to our experience. And so if we're actually people judging, we're also self-judging.
Oh yeah,
So is
fully.
it
That's
people
that's
judging
where
at
it comes
all?
from in the first place, isn't it? We're judging ourselves first and then creating an experience in order to not be judged, but we're already doing the judging.
We're
Mhm.
self-sabotaging ourselves by putting obstacles in front of us. And essentially, when we're thinking that other people have these expectations of us, we are creating an image of them that we are seeing and essentially putting them in this box. Yeah, it's its own box, its own label. I made another label. I put myself in another box. There's another limitation there. I've labeled myself in this way. Why? Why?
Are you so devoted to your suffering that this is how you have chosen to live your life? Like, are you devoted to your suffering? What is your suffering getting you?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times, like when we get so addicted to, and call it a substance, call it like
You can
control,
get addicted to a feeling.
right, a feeling, anything. And this is like, I think too interesting, this kind of whole, I don't know what to call it, but like high vibe. People
Right.
being
Yeah.
addicted to high vibe. It's like love
Mm.
and light only, love and light only. It's like, but that's not all that there is.
Hmm.
That doesn't make sense. And so for people especially coming into spirituality or trying to come into their journeys or healing or understanding themselves more, and it's like I have to be all love and light, then this isn't for me. I can't do that, nor do I want to.
Mm-mm.
There's this like threshold that I think some people feel like they need to cross and never return, but it's like that's
Right.
not real. You're not real. I'm not real.
No,
Nothing's real.
nothing is real.
Are you detaching from yourself?
Well,
Or maybe you're already detached from self, which makes
that's
it feel like an imposter. So if you're experiencing imposter syndrome, is that not an invitation to just really, really dive into who you are? Because imposter syndrome probably starts to show up when your programming from society starts to almost derail from who you believe yourself to be, potentially, right? And then it probably and then the shame and the fear and all that stuff also comes, preventing you from being who you really want to be because you think you need to be somebody else or something else.
We continue to put labels and shit, and I have to do this, and I have to be better than whatever, and it's all bullshit.
Why are we even labeling it imposter syndrome then? If it's feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, then why don't we just call it that? I'm feeling doubtful. I'm feeling inadequate. That's what it is. What's all
Yeah.
these labels that we have to fucking put on everything?
It's funny you say that because even the word itself makes it out to be something outside of ourselves. It's a
Right, a
syndrome.
syndrome. Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Ooh,
I
I've
have a
got a
syndrome.
syndrome. Then you can explain that shit away.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a syndrome, so
Right. That's where
know.
the excuse can show
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
it doesn't actually mean anything, anyways,
Yeah.
unless you allow it to. So, what is are the labels required? It's
Yeah.
changing the label
Yeah.
because we're labeling all of these things big. Because at the end of the day, they're all stories.
Hmm.
None of them are real.
You're not real. I'm not real.
No,
Nothing's real.
nothing is real.
Back to imposter syndrome. You've got this shame potentially, but at what point, and especially as an adult, uh, is that just an excuse?
Mm.
At what point are you using the feeling, especially if it's an old feeling of shame or guilt, as an excuse to not grow or to not say yes to something or to behave or to not behave in a certain way? Going back to choices, like if we can make sense of the way that we feel or the way that we show up in order to continue to choose joy and growth and expansion overall, then that makes sense.
Hmm.
That makes sense to me.
Hmm.
Because if we can choose, then wouldn't that be the choice?
That's a great question. Why wouldn't it be the choice?
Yeah.
Because it's not the choice for a lot of people. So why is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What the fuck do we know?
I don't either.
I'm not about to put someone else in a box.
No, and also I don't have that experience. Like
Yeah.
I probably have had that in my life, but it also feels so far away. I
Yeah.
cannot even begin to understand someone's choice against joy.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's unconscious, I think, is probably the best way I can describe how I'm seeing it.
Hmm.
Because if you don't know, if you don't know that you have choice, or if you're just so used to living in somebody else's experience of life, which a lot of people do, I think, speaking of people pleasers, you're not living for you anymore. I mean, ultimately you are, because you're trying to create these choices and these experiences so you can feel safe and good in your body. But I don't think they're consciously doing that. People that are people pleasing or people judging, our term people judging, um, aren't aren't aware that they're doing it for themselves,
Right.
right? That we can unravel it to that point, but when you're stuck in it, you're just trying to get through life. So again, like we talked about this months ago, but where does that hit come in where you're like, wait, and how? It's not easy to just snap your fingers and be like, I'm no longer a people judger. I am now a sovereign being. It takes time, it takes effort. Shadow work
Hmm.
is always an antidote to everything. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, the question then becomes, what are you willing to do then
Yeah.
to make it different?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you willing to sacrifice?
Sacrifice, absolutely. What are you willing to devote yourself to instead?
Mm-hmm.
What is the contract that you have agreed to, and
Mm-hmm.
what's the new one?
No one's taking responsibility for the choices, and then everyone's just blaming everybody else for their experiences. And then
It's
here
so
we
easy to
are.
pass the buck.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then here we are.
Yeah, that's how they get the syndrome. It's passing the buck along.
Yeah, the syndrome. And so building or potentially working on energetic sovereignty first.
It always has to be. Energy
Yeah.
always has to come first.
The more awareness we can bring to our own lives and the more mindful we are and intentional in our actions.
It
Yeah.
is our responsibility to clean our own shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The moment that we have the awareness to do so, it's a journey
Yeah.
to go inside, and I think that when you start to just go into all of the parts of you, because we have all of the different parts of us, the crazy one, the one that worries, the happy one, that they're just parts of us, parts of our experience, our
Mm-hmm.
emotions talking at the same time. Once you can go in, see all of the parts of you and say, it's okay, you live here.
Mm-hmm.
Good, come. and acceptance. I think that it would be awareness and acceptance of
Yeah.
everything that happens, of who you are, of how you want to respond. If you want to feel like shit one day, feel like shit. And then
Right. Just don't get stuck there
don't get stuck.
unnecessarily.
So what if I told you that there is a way to break free, and this is the wings framework? First is witness, and just take a pause and just take a
Mhm.
look at how you are. And the question is, who are you beyond the roles that you play? Who
Mhm.
are you really are? Place their hand on their heart and just say, what do I want?
Mhm.
What do I want? Right?
Of
And
course.
then is identify, how did you come to be here? What made you who you are? What are the beliefs and stories that you told yourself? Because we continue to put labels and shit, and I have to do this, and I have to be better than whatever, and it's all bullshit. So once you identify, you're able to make a decision to what you give your energy and attention.
Mhm. Where our attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, awareness grows. You like that?
Look at the person on the right and just say, this is my biggest cheerleader. What would happen? What changes in me if I feel like this person has my back and is just here to impulse me? And that is all perception. So
Mhm.
when you identify, you can identify what is no longer serving me and what is serving me. And in the end, it's about, and then nurture. Nurture is the third thing. Nurture self-love, and just to stop being so hard on ourselves, because
Mhm.
that doesn't give us fuck shit. And so once I learned to treat other people with the same love and respect that I treat the people that I love, because you have a friend and you're always like, yeah, you can do it, I believe in you. And you see your friends and you're like, wow, what if we can bring that back to ourselves as well,
Right.
a little bit, and stop being so much of an asshole. And then
Mhm.
there is grow. In order for us to create our dream life, we have to grow, and growth is uncomfortable. And growth means being comfortable with being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and just knowing that there are things that are going to happen. Life goes up and down. So I'm going to talk to them a little bit about Kensho and Satori moments. Everything that happens in our life is for growth. And then finally, soar. Soar is when you create a vision that is exciting for you. It's your vision. But what is it that you really want? So I'm going to be telling them, get present to wear your feathers, and then shake your wings, and then put your unique feathers in your wings, so then you can stretch them and then finally fly.